The conjecture continues today about coronavirus and the vaccine. There is a second report, as you know, of so-called thrombosis with thrombocytopenia following a shot of AstraZeneca. This was a woman who was vaccinated in WA. She's reportedly in a stable condition. It has been confirmed that the clots are similar to those seen in Europe and the UK. Now, fears about blood clots, as you know, have prompted the government to revise its use of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Pfizer is now the preferred treatment for Australians under the age of 50. But to avoid alarmism, while this is the second case of the deadly thrombosis, it means the frequency of the disorder after getting the vaccine equates to about 1 in 350,000. A man in his 80s has also died in Queensland from COVID complications after returning to Australia from the Philippines on March 20. He had returned via Papua New Guinea. The governor of Papua New Guinea, as you know, died from coronavirus complications on April 6. But I want to get in first here. There's loose talk, which can't be allowed to become anything more than that, about vaccine passports. In other words, you can't get on a plane, you can't shop, you can't go where you want to go unless you have proof of vaccination. Now, I've warned since the beginning of all of this against the massive erosions of our freedoms. In many ways, we're all too busy trying to get on with our lives. But this vaccine passport idea can't be allowed to gain momentum. Let me give you an example. In the People's Republic of Victoria, there is a misnamed Victorian Health and Wellbeing Act with very draconian provisions under the guise of protecting you and, by protecting you, enforcing things upon you. The Act gives the government extraordinary powers to declare a state of emergency for a significant period of time. That's the words of the Act. The Act gives the government the power to, quote, detain any person or group of persons for the period reasonably necessary to eliminate or reduce a serious risk to public health, unquote. Supposing this vaccine passport idea takes root, could the Andrews government declare you a serious risk to public health if you're not vaccinated? In which case the Act provides powers to, quote, detain any person, restrict the movement of any person, quote, or give any other direction that the authorised officer considers as reasonably necessary to protect public health, unquote. Now, these may have seemed innocent provisions at the time they were introduced, which was in 2008, but winter is coming on. If people in a certain precinct are unvaccinated, could they be declared a risk to public health? Could this be the extension of the vaccine passport idea? And where do our basic freedoms stand in relation to this? I mentioned I'm getting in early. We've seen in the last 15 months an extraordinary erosion of fundamental freedoms. We've learned early on in life, once bitten, twice shy. Beware lest Big Brother comes after you again. Vaccine passports? No.